Well, good morning, Chruszhet. How are you?
Good morning, John. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, really well. Been looking forward to this. I understand you just got back from Orlando and really exciting, event there. And I'll ask you about that in just a second. But by way of a formal introduction, really glad to welcome Chruszhet Hydron from the Hydron Group. And as you can see in her backdrop there, you can scan the QR code to get more information. And she's a rock star realtor out of the Las Vegas area. And glad to have you on our podcast. It's entitled The Mindset of a Champion. What sets you apart? So the beautiful thing is we get to know you better. When I go to send referrals to you, I'll be able to send this podcast to them and say, this is what sets her apart. This is why you have to work with Jet. Does that sound good?
That sounds amazing. Thank you.
Great, great. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got into real estate and maybe how long you've been in and how you serve people in your markets, if you would.
Sure, sure. So, I've lived in Las Vegas for over 40 years. So I know this town from the back of my hand. I have a deep local knowledge of the city, Las Vegas and Henderson. So I've lived in all pockets of Las Vegas and Henderson, the valley itself. Um, I feel, I used to work for the state government. And just being in the public sector gave me this opportunity to serve the community on a different level and getting the insights from the public officials. I felt I needed to get that out also to people who weren't aware. And once I realized how this city was rapidly growing, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get into real estate. I have such a passion for helping people and helping my community. I wanted to guide them and give them a proper education and information and just have that knowledge to, to become a homeowner or, you know, just have the know-how to sell their home. So I got into real estate in 2018.
Oh.
So it's going about 8 years, no, 7 years, sorry. Trying to do the math in my head. 7 years now. And I've grown a team. When I first started in real estate, it was just I was a solo agent, and I was still working for the state. I was a transportation planner analyst, and I saw that we were as a state, we were just growing. People were migrating here. Yes, so we had a lot of California relocations just from other parts of the country. People were just constantly moving to Las Vegas. And being in a position as a planner, analyst, and seeing roads develop, I figured, you know what, there's a reason why these roads are being developed. There's a reason why we're having these projects happening constantly. It's because our city obviously was growing. And in that, we were also developing homes. And I saw these homes being developed everywhere. And I thought, well, this is maybe the time for me to get into real estate. I really wanted to help my community and help those that are coming here who weren't aware of the Las Vegas market or the city. And so that's when I got in. Like I said, I was solo agent. I still had a full-time job. So I was juggling both. And because of my schedule with the state government, I had a lot of free time. I won't say free time. I had a lot of downtime during my full-time position um, to get into real estate, to go to school. And so once I started growing my clientele, I figured, you know what? I should start a team because when I'm at my full-time job, I need a team to help me when I can't be there.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did. Yeah, I did in 2023, I started my team, the Hydron Group. It was just me and another agent. And whenever I got a deal or I got a client called me, they said, "Hey, Cruzette, I want to buy a house." I'd shoot it over to my team member and I'd say, "Please help me with this while I'm doing my full-time job." Well, my team grew from two to four that year in 2023. And then last year, we grew from four to six.
Wow.
So last year, I decided to let go of my state government job and become a full-time realtor.
You went all
So
in.
I went all in. I yes, I left my, very safe and secure state government job with my pension, but I had such a passion for my community and for helping people. I decided, this is my calling now. It's time to turn this new chapter.
That is amazing. And you mentioned how you started, small beginnings, solo agent. Um, what was it like when you first started as a solo agent? And I know you were working the other job too. And did you have any doubts in your mind? Like, oh my goodness, I know I want to help people, but phew, this real estate thing, I don't know. Like, can I do it? Was there any of those kinds of feelings or thoughts?
Absolutely. I had no idea that as an agent, you have to wear so many hats. And I had a lot of doubts. Yes. I was like, you have to do the marketing. You have to, be a salesperson. You got to do your calls. You got to, be out in the public. And like, I really was starting to feel a little bit of an overwhelm. And I thought, how am I going to do this? Especially with my full-time job. Um, so yeah, I had a lot of doubts. And I was like, at times I felt like an island. Like, who do I go to? Who's going to show me the ropes? My brokerage provided training, yes, but I needed some to kind of like, okay, this is next, or this is what's going to happen, or. And so this is why I decided to start my own team because I wanted to be there for those who were starting this journey as a solo agent. And I wanted to provide them the tools, the mentorship and the things that I went through and what I felt. And so, yes, this is how the Hydron group started.
That's really exciting. Well, I'm really happy to hear that and happy to see your growth since you first started there. Now, let me ask you this. I know you are working in the Las Vegas area. Um, Specifically, and I think you and I talked earlier, is my wife's cousin lives in the Summerlin area there. Really, really nice area as well.
Yes, gorgeous.
Is that the areas you mainly focus in on? Is the greater Las Vegas area? Do you expand out to the whole state of Nevada if necessary, or even outside of the state? Can you give us a little insight of that?
Absolutely. I mainly stay within Southern Nevada. So, yes, I do the greater Las Vegas area. I do a lot of business in Henderson, Lake Las Vegas specifically. That's where I live. And I also, venture out to Pahrump or Laughlin or Boulder City, but mainly Southern Nevada. If I have to do any type of business up in the Northern Nevada, it's something I would refer out to another affiliate agent.
Oh, that's great. So you can cover everything, not only with your team, but you have affiliates and people that you can refer to help. That's
Absolutely.
that's great. You and I were speaking earlier, and you started in like 2018, and then a couple years later, this thing called a pandemic hits us all,
Yeah.
and man, it rocked the world.
Yes,
And it brought a lot of difficult challenges and financial times for the whole country.
it did.
And so just kind of wanted to know, you started your business, you've been in it a couple of years by that point, and there must have been some type of adjustments or pivots that you had to make in your business to stay successful during those challenging financial times. Can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, it's funny because the pandemic opened a new opportunity for me. When I think of obstacles, I don't think of them as obstacles. They're more of an opportunity. So,
Yeah.
pandemic was actually 2020 was one of my busiest years in real estate. And this is when people were taking advantage of the low interest rate, right? And
Oh yeah.
because the state government kind of shut down the offices, everybody shut down their offices. So I worked from home and we still didn't know what was going on. So again, I still had this time to devote to my clients. And when the interest rates went down, I started just getting bombarded with calls. And I really was busy. This my busiest year was was 2020, 2021, 2022. But as far as pivoting, I just figured, okay, this is a time where people are concerned. They have a lot of worries and things just going through their heads. And me being a problem solver, I wanted to provide that level of service. What problem do you have? Talk to me so that I can help you. People were struggling with debt. So my husband and I went through the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover, and we did the same thing. So for people that were struggling with debt, I wanted to be an example. Hey, we got out of debt. You can too. So anything that I advise my clients, I always make sure that I've done that as well. If I'm saying, hey, buy a home or buy an investment property, I want to make sure they know that I've been through the same path. I've done the same thing so I can feel what they're feeling.
That's so good. You set the example. You didn't just talk, but you walked the talk,
Right, right,
you did
right.
it. That's
Yeah.
that's great. And it when you do that and during challenging times, you stay successful because you rolled up your sleeves, you stayed working hard. And, during that time, we were super busy too as lenders. People were refinancing, cashing out, when they could and paying off their debt. And now we're debt free. And so it
Yeah.
was actually a really good time to help people during the pandemic times. And now
Absolutely.
we fast forward, it's still floating out there. We get it. The pandemic is still out there, but most people feel like, hey, we're pretty much past that. Now there's a new era of presidency coming in. A lot of people are concerned about this. How is this going to affect real estate and things like that? So I think my question to you is the title of this podcast overall is The Mindset of a Champion. What sets you apart? So, Chruszhet, when you think of a champion and having that champion mindset, how does that affect your everyday activities and routine in real estate?
When I think of a champion, one particular individual comes to mind is the late Kobe Bryant, right? When he talks about the Mamba
No
mentality,
kidding.
the willingness to outwork anyone. And I told myself, once I became that full-time real estate agent, I am willing to outwork anyone. I am willing to outwork anyone in the city by providing this level of excellent service to my clients. Um, Coming up with innovative strategies, just, if they needed to know towards this time of the year, everyone's starting to think about taxes. So, if they've closed with me the last year, I provided their closing statement. Yes, they have it. They probably have it in their email, but just to provide that level of service, let me just send it to you. So you're not scrimmaging through your email, looking around for paperwork. I'm going to give you this type of service where I'm going to make things just easy for you, right? So mama mentality to me is just having that a different mindset, that level of determination that, you know, I'm here for my clients no matter what. If they need something, please call me for anything. Even if they decide, hey, I want to sell my home and move to, Alabama. I know someone in Alabama, being with the Tom Ferry ecosystem, that's another advantage that we have this network of top real estate agents all over the country. And so if you need me for any type of resource or anything like that, please feel free to call me. But the Mamba mentality to me is in my daily routine, I wake up early. I have, I do my gratitudes, uh, make sure I do a physical movement with my body, whether it's yoga, stretching, taking a walk, exercise, anything like that, keeping my health just optimized so that I can help my clients as well. So, if you're sick, how are you going to help others, right? So, health is very important to me, and just having that right mindset, and also being an example for my team, because I lead a team, I want to make sure I'm inspiring them, empowering them, and motivating them.
Yeah, that's so important. What you say is, a lot of it starts, we hear a lot about mindset, but I hadn't heard the Mamba mindset. And that is somebody that I follow. I remember and think back. I used to see him here in Newport Beach all the time. For a while, we worked out at the same gym at Equinox here in Newport. And there was nobody else that I've ever seen or met before that had a stronger work ethic than him. He was putting in the time at 3:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
every morning, working out, shot after shot after shot. When everybody had gone home, he's still doing it. So I'm so glad you mentioned that
Hmm.
because that mentality, I can see it's affected you. And if it affected you, it's affecting the way you treat your clients. And that's amazing. That's the kind of realtor, trusted realtor partner that I can refer business to because I know if I send somebody to you, Chruszhet's going to take care of them. She's going to get up early. After taking care of herself and her mental health, she's ready to give full attention to the client I'm recommending. If that client needs you in the late afternoon, the early evening, possibly the later evening, I know you've taken calls. I know I have. That's part of what we do, right? It's that Mamba mentality. We take that
Absolutely.
call.
Yes. There's no days off. Yeah, when you're an agent, I tell my agents this. I said, for me, I don't know how others work. There's no days off for me. It's only because I don't see this as work. I love what I do. I love helping people. So to me, it's not work. It's like, I got off the plane last night and I went and met a client at 8 o'clock for dinner. So it's like, it's not work. It's just meeting someone for dinner and talking about, hey, give me your problems. Let me help you solve them. It's being a friend, right? So that's what we do.
That's amazing. And I think for me too, it's I'm gonna keep using it because you threw it out there. The mama mentality, I love it. It's just waking up intentional every
Yes.
single day. And my intentionalism, if that's a word, starts the night before.
Yes.
And all my clothes are set out. My wife's got my lunch or whatever prepared. And, between the two of us, we work and see, okay, what's your schedule like today? And we work everything out the night before so we know where to meet, what to do, and all of this. And then it's just a full slate of helping people. And
Correct.
I know you'll agree, there's no better feeling when we finally lay our head down to rest and we're next to our mate. Do you have a good day? And you're talking about your day. It was a wonderful day. Got to help people, and I still got some wonderful things to take care of tomorrow. But what a great feeling, right?
It is. It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So we talked about the mindset and what a champion means to you, and you brought up one of the greatest champions ever, Kobe Bryant. Um, when people say, I'm working with Chruszhet, what can they expect as far as responsiveness? So we kind of touched on that a little bit, but if someone calls or texts and you don't recognize that number, whatever, what's your response to that?
If they leave me a message or if a text, I really do try to be responsive and within a couple, if I can't get to a call within a couple hours, I'll let them know, hey, I'm busy, I'm in a meeting right now, but I will call you back as soon as this meeting is over or, whatever it may be. So yes, I try to be as responsive as possible because it's important. It's what I remember my first client when he told me, you know what? It seems like you are on the phone. Your phone is right next to you because you know when I call, you see my text, and you're quick. You're quick to respond. I've had many people tell me that. My team members, yes, they're looking at my email. Like I'll have an assistant that looks at my email, but if I get to it fast, if I see it first, I'll get to it fast. And they're like, "Wow, you're quick." Because it's that level of service, right? It's that level of service that I want to provide, like yeah.
That's awesome. You know, my God, my wife, everything is in those orders, our family and everything. But this here, this little gadget, this phone is attached to our hip. It's like a family member because other people are calling and they want to become part of our family of clients. And
Right.
it's kind of a weird analogy, but this is what we use to help people, and it is attached. I mean, literally, if it was a third arm or an appendage, know, it's there because we want to help people. And the reason why I brought that up is I did a just a short little, self video walking through the parking lot, I think one time, because I had an experience where I was texting first of all, I called an agent. I was ready to refer a client to them out of, was it Arizona, I think it was. And no answer. Okay, fine, probably in an appointment. Fine. So I text, no answer for about 4 more hours. Okay, fine. I shot an email, thought, oh, maybe. And then I hit social media too. I figured, whatever. I didn't hear anything that night. The next day, crickets. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? But yet I'm seeing all this posting on
Right.
social media, right? And I sent a message or I commented on the post and I says, wow, is this property still available? Da, 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 da. And she responds right away, yes, it is. Da, da, da. And I says, hey, call me. I'm interested, and a day went by. The next day, so this is 3 days, I finally got a call back. And I said, oh, did
Wow.
you go on vacation? Were you, was someone sick? No, 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 just, I got your message. I'm sorry. And so it led me to create a little video that was entitled, Just Say Something.
Yes.
But basically, it's like, when someone calls me, Chruszhet, and maybe I'm on the phone or we're in the middle of a podcast, I
Mhm.
will briefly just say on a podcast, we'll call back or
Yes.
say something, you
Hmm.
know?
Yes.
And that just resonates with me with what you said. You're responsive, you care. Because to me, it's a respect thing. You show
Correct.
respect and care for someone that's trying to reach out to you.
Right.
So I that really resonates with me, what
Yeah.
you said. And I feel confident that if I send you a client or some type of a referral, uh,
Mhm.
you're going to be responsive. And I can tell people, hey, this gal, I'm telling you, she will respond. She's great. I brag you up, and then you live up to it. So that's great.
Absolutely. It's funny because I was on the plane last night, as you know, and I was getting calls. I was getting calls from a referral agent from San Diego saying, I'm gonna refer this client to you. And I'm getting ready to take off. I'm like, hey, thank you so much. And we were on a group chat, and I said, let me get back to you as soon as I land, but I'm getting ready to take off. So, no, still getting, I have the Wi-Fi capability on United, so you still get these calls, right? You still get these texts coming through, but I'll just do a quick text. I'm on a plane. I'll call you when I get down on Earth, on the ground. So,
Difference that makes, right? And people respect that. People respect something. You say something, you answer, you give them, and now they understand the expectation. No problem. People understand we're busy, we're in an appointment, we will get back. Now the the big challenge is the flip side of that is you say, "Hey, I'm going to get back." You know how many people forget?
yes,
And I can see you're not that kind of a person. I can see you're diligent about getting
right.
back to people.
So,
That's
yes,
great.
we're doing that.
Yeah. Well, we've talked, we've gotten to know you better, the areas you serve, why you got into real estate, because you love helping people, and it's all over your face that you love helping people. So kind of to wrap things up, there's some realtors, and I'm sure maybe you've talked to them too. You just got back from Tom Ferry out of Florida there, and you met probably lots and lots of different realtors. And some are new in the business, some have been in it for a long time. Some maybe don't feel like they're getting the mentoring that they need, or they're just wondering, should I continue in this business?
Mhm.
So, with that in mind, what advice would you give to any one of those category of realtors um, to stay successful in 2025 and moving forward?
I would say, it's easy to give up, right? Just know real estate is a long game, stay in it, stay the course. Do not give up because the moment you think this is not for me, that's when it comes. That's when the clients start calling. I also think it's very important to have a mentor or coach. I have a coach that I meet with every week, and having that accountability is important. You know, who do you have in your life that keeps you accountable? Accountability with spirituality, with your health, with people. This is why people hire trainers, right, for their physical fitness, or accountability for your finances. Things like that. You definitely need someone to keep you accountable in this business. And whether it's a mentor, a coach, or even a team lead, if you need to join a team, join a team. Yes, I believe that in order to make it in this business, you have to think, one, it's not easy. Two, this is a long game. So what you're doing today, the work you're doing today, you probably won't see it for another 6 months, but keep doing it. Do not give up.
Oh, that is just excellent advice. And I got to throw it back out there that that Mamba mindset that you brought up is really, really what I try, and I use that a lot too. I haven't used the word Mamba, but I always say, Kobe, this and that, and I quote a lot, and I post a lot about Kobe on threads and things like that. So it's what you've said is inspiring. If I was a newer agent, or even an agent that's thinking, I've been in this for a while, I've had decent success, but times are tough. And as a
Yeah.
buyer's agent, now I got to try to, explain my worth, if you will, which
Mhm.
we should have no problem doing anyways, right?
Yeah.
But I've had some agents tell me, I'm leaving the business. I don't want to have to deal with that stuff anymore, or I'll just represent sellers. Okay,
Mhm.
that's a choice. But I think to be successful for me too and have that champion mindset every single day, know your worth. You
Yes,
sit down,
absolutely.
write it down if you have to, and say, this is what sets me apart. This is what makes me different.
Correct. Yeah.
And once you know it and believe it, now believe, self-belief, I can
Yeah.
do this. And you get that mentor that you talked about and a team lead. That's a game changer. I'm so glad you mentioned that because I think that's really a key to further success.
Yes, I agree.
Well, good. Well, thank you so much, Chruszhet. You certainly set a great example, not only as a realtor, but I know you mentioned with your family there too, and you no doubt take wonderful care of them as well. And you're always juggling things. We have spiritual, we have family, we have friends, we have a life there too. We're always learning and taking in more knowledge and we go to Tom Ferry's, we do these things to get better so we can help more people. And I'm
Absolutely.
so grateful that you were able to join us today. And I look forward to sending you referrals because I know you will take care of them like a champion.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. I thank you for inviting me on your podcast. I enjoyed it very much, and it was great talking to you.
Likewise.